Hey everybody, it's Andrew coming to you with another video. Happy Friday. It is cloudy and cool here in Seattle, but I do not mind a bit. It's a nice change from the heat and the summer and the sun. I don't mind the sun or the heat at all either, but as a redhead in the summer, my life is literally the Ginger Games catching fire. It seriously becomes this game. I notice when I'm walking down the street and I'm always searching for like, okay, which side of the street has the most shade? How can I hop from one patch of shade to the next and spend the longest, amount of time in the shade, protected from the sun? So today, I'm good. Um, and I want to talk today about desire, about what we want in life, about getting what we want, about asking for what we want, about settling or not settling and choosing and creating. And I've had this topic kind of kicking around in my head for a couple of days, and it feels like, if you've been following my videos, the last four that I did, the living in the void, um, letting it go versus letting it be, um, showing up and having faith, and I can't remember, there was another one. But anyway, the last four that I did, this seems like the kind of the culmination of those videos. This idea of what we want already exists, and what we want, we're really just, it's a process of creating the path to it and calling it to us. I mean, there's so many levels to this topic, and I'm going to try to keep it concise and clear and under 45 minutes because I know that you know sometimes to sit for more than 20 minutes, half an hour sometimes feels like a long period of time. So I'm going to try to keep it clear, and I've tried to record this video over the past couple days. I'm not going to lie, this is probably like the third or fourth attempt, and it just hasn't stuck. But the potential for what we want exists. On a quantum level, everything that we desire and the potentiality for what we desire exists already. Time is not a line. Time is not beginning, middle, end. Time is a continuum. Time is a fabric. Time is a field. And we are existing within that field, and we are existing within that time. And wherever we find ourselves in any given moment is just relative to the choices that we've made, the vibration that we're emitting, the beliefs and expectations that we have, the ideas that we carry with us and hold up as truth. These all contribute to what we get in our lives and what shows up in our lives. And then there's the whole thing of consciously creating versus unconsciously creating. When people say, well, I buy my lottery tickets and I have a lottery, I have $1 million check on my vision board, and I have lottery, pictures of lottery winners, and I imagine myself winning the lottery, and lottery, where's my money? Why don't I have lottery? And then I talk to them about it. And there's this, almost always, there is an underlying perception that is counter to being a multimillionaire. It's something, they don't feel that they deserve money. They don't think they can be rich. They think that money is the root of all evil. They think that rich people are somehow disconnected or unspiritual, or, that they're bad, or that, money is a problem, or money is something to be afraid of, or that they can't handle it. There's a million reasons why we may unconsciously believe that we can't have something, while consciously we keep desiring it and asking for it. And at the same time, a desire for something only comes to us because on some level it already exists. And it's as if the desire, and I've mentioned this before, it is as if the desire is calling to us from the future. And it's saying, hey, that thing that you keep saying you want, I'm over here, and this is how you get to me. But and this comes back to doing the work. So often we are not willing to do the work to get to what we really want. We say we want something, and then we begin to move towards it, and then all these things come up. Like, if I really want to win the lottery, if I really want to manifest $87 million, and I have a set of beliefs, conscious or unconscious, that tell me that money is bad or that I can't have it or that I don't deserve it or that it'll never happen or that it's impossible or that the odds are stacked against me or whatever, I can do one of two things. I can either continue to move towards my dream of being a millionaire, and I'm using this example, and it's rather oversimplified, but bear with me. I can continue to move towards my dream of being a millionaire and be willing to confront the barriers, which are mental, which are beliefs, which are expectations about can I be rich or should I be rich or what does it mean to be rich or, is it good or spiritual or non-spiritual, whatever. If I'm unwilling to face and to dismantle these false beliefs that I have, then I can't get to my destination. So at that point, I have to decide, well, maybe, if I'm unwilling to do the work to get there, if you want to fucking climb the mountain, you got to learn how to climb the mountain. You got to be willing to do the work, face some fears, buy the equipment, train yourself, prepare yourself, get ready to reach the pinnacle of the mountain. If you don't, you're never going to get there. So that's part of it, but it's also asking for it. It's also claiming it. It's also thinking that, you know what? It's okay to ask for what I want. It's okay to speak up for myself, to show up for myself and to say, this is what I want. This is what I want. Last night I went to get some pizza. I love pizza. My favorite pizza is I love the ones where the crust has the bubbles in it and it's kind of ugly looking and sort of deformed and bumpy because I just love how crispy it is and how crunchy it is. And it's just, if I order a pizza or if I have a choice, I will always want the slice that has the big funky bubbles in it. Last night I went to get some pizza. I go to this pizza place quite a bit. And I stepped up to the window or to the line to order my pizza, and there was a half a pizza left. And in the middle of the half was the one that had the really funky, crispy, bubbly, weird looking crust that I love. And I immediately zeroed in on that one. And this conversation that I had in my brain, this exchange that I had in my mind, probably lasted about a half a second, 2 seconds at the most, but it went something along the lines of I step up and I see the slice and, the voice inside of me, the soul, the heart, the spirit that knows what I want to be happy, knows how to get me there and wants me to be happy and knows that I thinks that I deserve it and knows that I deserve it and that I'm worthy of having what I want. I walk up and that voice says, oh yeah, that's the slice you want. That will be a really good one. Doesn't that look good? Look at that crunchy, crispy part. You're going to love that. And immediately my mind came in, the bully, the womp womp, Debbie Downer. I can't have it. I don't deserve it. Oh, never mind. Just don't bother anybody. That mind came in. That voice came in and said, no, don't ask for that. It's the slice in the middle of the half of the pizza. She's going to have to cut around it. And there's people behind you and it's going to take extra time. And then they're going to be grumbling at you because they're hungry and you're holding up the line. And this girl's going to think you're dumb. And why do you even want that? That's dumb. Just eat whatever. It's going to be the same. And in that moment, I had a choice. I could have chosen to follow either one of the voices. And ultimately, the pizza probably would have been the same. But it is my experience that would have been different. One path was leading me down the path of satisfaction, the path of asking for what I wanted and getting it. And the other path was leading me down the path of no, it's fine, whatever. It's pizza, I'm hungry, I ate it, I'm fine. And I asked for the slice that I wanted. And I told the girl, I said, can I have that slice right there? I said, I love the ones that have the funky crust. She was like, oh, me too. I love those. Those are my favorite. She's like, that's totally the slice I would eat too. And so I got the pizza, I got 2 slices and I got a small salad and I sat down and I ate my salad and then I ate the one normal slice and then I saved a funky, special slice for last. And I'm telling you, it was the best fucking slice of pizza I've ever eaten in my life because it was the quality of the experience that made the difference. It was the satisfaction of knowing that I asked for what I want, I honored what I wanted, I showed up for myself and stood up for myself by asking for it, and I got it. And it was the act of eating that slice of pizza was magnified by 1,000 just because I allowed myself to receive what I wanted. And you might be thinking like, well, dude, it's a slice of fucking pizza. Like, really, what's the big deal? But here's the thing. The universe, our non-physical friends, our helpers, our guides, source, Jesus, God, angels, whatever you believe provides for you. The universe is always responding to us with what we ask for and what we expect and what we think we're going to get, or what we believe we're worthy of. And in those moments, when we have a choice, we are in essence saying to the universe, yes, I want to be satisfied. I deserve to be satisfied. I'm willing to ask for satisfaction, and I'm willing to receive it. Or, no, my needs aren't that important. I don't really deserve, asking is too much trouble. I'm not worth it. It's better for everybody if I just don't get what I want. The universe only responds to how we feel. The universe is neutral. It does not say something is good or something is bad. The universe only wants experience and expansion. And through our experiences, the universe expands regardless of what our experience is. We project all sorts of egoic things onto the universe and say, well, I will be judged and I will be condemned and I did something bad and the universe is mad at me. Why the hell would the most powerful force the most powerful force that is, the force that created the universe, regardless of what you think that force is, why would it care? If there was really some dude sitting up in the clouds, with an axe to grind who was angry at you for something that you perceive you did wrong, he would just fucking take you out. So the universe is not judging your choices and your desires and your actions. The universe is providing you and aligning you with that which you feel you desire, you deserve, you expect, you think you can have, you think you should have, you think you will have. And are we willing to ask for what we want? And what we want isn't really what we want. Here's the thing. What we want really is the feeling that we think this thing will bring to us. That pizza, if I had been blindfolded and had a bite of the slice that I really wanted and another normal slice, I never would have been able to tell the difference. There was absolutely zero difference in the content. It was the same pizza. It was the same ingredients. If you, blended it all up and did a spectrum analysis of the contents of that pizza, it would have been identical. We want what we want because the way that we think we will feel when we get it. That's why we want it. I wanted the satisfaction of the pizza crunching. I wanted the experience. I wanted the joy of asking for what I wanted. I wanted the experience of showing up for myself and asking for what I wanted and being satisfied and being willing to receive it and say yes when it showed up. I wanted a feeling. And the pizza showed up as the means to achieve that feeling. What we want is the feeling. I want a car. I want a boyfriend. I want a job. No. You want the freedom. You want the excitement. You want the exhilaration. You want the satisfaction. You want the curiosity. You want the feeling of being intrigued. You want the feeling of being exhilarated. You want the feeling of being so excited and elated that you can't wait to see this person again. You want the feeling of, oh my God, I love this job. This job is so exciting because I get to get my hands in it and I get to create and I get to decide and I get to design and I get to expand and I get to express and I get to experience. I get to sink my teeth into it. You want the feeling. And if the feeling that you want is being blocked by some bullshit belief that you can't have it or that you don't deserve it or that it's impossible or that it doesn't exist or that you're not worth it or that God is mad at you and somehow you've been deserted, why have you forsaken me? And if that's what you believe and if those are the things that are standing in the way of your feeling, then that's where the work lies. And that's why I've been saying over and over time again, and this is the message that I will repeat until I'm blue in the face and I'm dead and buried. You cannot get what you want unless you're willing to do the work. And I'm not talking about the work external. That, yes, will be part of it, but that work shows up as an inspired action. The actual physical action of getting what we want shows up in a response to our desire and our vibration of what we want. But it starts with identifying the feeling. What do I want to feel in my life? What do I want to experience in my life? And when we identify that, immediately what lines up for us are the things that are standing in the way. And I guarantee you, 100% of the time, the things that are standing in the way are the bullshit ideas that you have, that we have, that I have had, that tell us why we can't have what we want and why it's impossible and why it will never be and why we don't deserve it and why we should just have the fucking other piece of pizza. That's where the work starts. And until we are willing to do that work, we will never get to the other stuff. Because once we unravel the bullshit, that's when the fun begins. Once we clear the field, I'm going to use this analogy again. Once we clear the plot of land of the rusted out car and the old dead tree and the brambles and the boxes and the bottles and the junk and the crap, once we clear that stuff out, then the actual physical action begins, because that's the inspired action, because the universe says, okay, finally, Andrew's cleared the field. He's done his work. He's, contributed to the co-creative process. He has done his share. He has, done, the heavy lifting that is required of him to get to this place where what he desires is possible. Because what we want is always possible. It already exists on some level, and we just have to get there. And to get there means that we got to do a little bit of work. And once we have cleared the field, that's when the inspired action comes in. We say, okay, so now the field is clear. It's fertilized, it's fertile, it's ready to go. And now I get to plant the seeds. And now I get to decide where it goes. And now I get to design it. And oh yeah, this feels like, this feels like it would be exciting. And this feels like it would be satisfying. And this feels like it would be fun. And this feels like it would be really, invigorating and provocative, or whatever it is that you want. That's when the action becomes inspired. So it's not an empty physical act of just banging your head against the wall because you think that's what you have to do to get it. And if you force it, it will happen. No. Let the action be inspired by the work that you have done to create the space, the void for what you want, and allowing it to show up. I'm getting a little heated because it was just this moment of clarity last night as I was sitting there eating this pizza that I could have very well settled. I could have very well said, no, I don't, whatever. But in that moment, I had a choice. And I said, no, fuck it, man. I deserve this piece of pizza that I want. I deserve the things that I want. I deserve to have the things that I want. And it is not going to be handed to me. Some white knight is not going to come riding up and give me a pizza that's 12 slices with funky crust. Or maybe he will, but if I don't believe that I deserve it, I will never accept it. I will never receive it. And so I want to be happy. I want to be satisfied. I want to be invigorated. I want to thrive. I want to be, just in love with every single moment that I can. And when the opportunity to experience that shows up in the form of a pizza, am I going to choose to allow me to have the experience provided for me? Or am I going to continue to say, no, I don't deserve it? Or no, it doesn't, this isn't what I thought this isn't what I thought it would look like. Well, bitch, you didn't care. What you want is the feeling. What you want is the feeling. And it just so happens that the feeling you want lies in that piece of pizza with the funky crust. So what we want already exists. And the desire that we have for it is merely the actuated version of our lives where that experience exists, calling to us saying, I'm over here. This book, and anyone who is more logical, rational, kind of skeptical, and requires some kind of proof and wants a more scientific method, this book you will love. The DNA Field and the Law of Resonance by Pierre Franck, Frankch. This book is amazing. It basically talks about this whole concept that everything that we desire already exists in some way, And there, in every moment, the potential for pretty much everything exists. And that there are, and I'm really going to oversimplify it here for the sake of time because we're already at like 20 minutes with this video, but I encourage you to read this book because he talks about there are two types of waves. One is an offer wave and one is an echo wave. And on the space-time continuum, on the fabric, because, you know, again, time is not ABC, a linear thing. Time is a fabric. Time is a plateau. Time is a zone. Time is a field. It's like a blanket. And again, I'm oversimplifying, but this is, you know, for the sake of this video and to get your mind to start to think of time in a new way. Time exists simultaneously at the same time. Every potentiality, past, present, future, possible, maybe, happened, will happen, does happen, is happening, all exists at the same time. And it is only our point on this fabric that defines our experience. So we are emitting by our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our choices, our expectations, we are emitting what are called the offer waves. And they are a frequency that we are vibrating at. And they are moving out from us in every direction at all times. It's like our oscillation. It's our wave. It's our transmission. And from the potential of all that is, there are things called echo waves. So basically, we are emitting our frequency vibration to the future, and the future is emitting a wave frequency vibration back towards the past, towards us, and it's only looking for a match. So if the reality of having this amazing piece of pizza is what I'm vibrating at, then the potential realization of that reality is also vibrating, looking for a match. And once they find each other, bang, we immediately create a connection to that version of the reality that we are seeking. And that's when the path begins to open up and define itself. I'm going to give you another thing to think about. The potentiality for all things exists in every single moment. Where I sit right now, where you sit right now watching this video, where you're, you know, on the bus, in the bed, at your desk, on the couch, in a chair, walking down the street, wherever. The potential for what comes next is infinite. There are literally an infinite number of ways that I could get up from this chair and walk across the room. I could do it singing, I could do it humming, I could do it with one eye closed, I could do it with both eyes closed. I could do it hopping on one leg, I could do it without my clothes on, I could do it with one shirt on, with my shirt on and my pants off, I could do it with the headphones in, I could do it without the headphones, I could do it holding this flyer, holding my wallet, holding this notebook. I mean, literally. There are an infinite number of possible ways that exist right now for me to get up and move forward. And by my choice, by my thoughts, by my expectations, by my beliefs of what is going to be the most satisfying thing, or the thing that I can get, or the thing that I deserve, or the thing that I am worthy, or whatever your thoughts are, that will define what happens next. One now moment leads me to the next now moment, leads me to the next now moment, leads me to the next now moment. And before I know it, I've got a string of choices that have begun to construct this reality around me. And when you don't know what you want, you focus on the feeling, because ultimately the feeling is what you want anyway. And through consistent offering of a feeling state of happiness, of joy, of satisfaction, of gratitude, and gratitude is not only is gratitude important because we need to be grateful and say thank you and, you know, whatever, yada, yada. I'm not minimizing that, but we mistake what gratitude is. Gratitude is a confirmation of what we received by telling the universe, hey, universe, I was asking for this thing. Oh, I got it. Thank you. Message received. Got it. It's like our confirmation. We're signing for the package. It is our, you know, when we get something delivered from Amazon or whatever and we sign for it, the delivery confirmation is saying to the universe, yes, I got it. Thank you. This is what I wanted. More of this, please. So through our consistent offering of a vibrational state, we are only meeting up and giving those echo waves, the echo waves of the potential that is always coming towards us. And the only way we're going to match it is by matching the vibration of it. I want freedom, so I need to cultivate the feeling of freedom now. I want satisfaction, so I need to find a way to cultivate the feeling of satisfaction now. And whatever way that shows up, whether it's a piece of pizza or, you know, a $100,000 sports car, the feeling is the same. It doesn't matter. Satisfaction always feels the same. There is no difference. You're either satisfied or you're not, and it always feels the same. And then since the universe is only responding to your feelings, it doesn't care what it is that satisfies you. it will continue to respond with more things that will match that feeling and that vibration. So when you don't know what you want from a physical, when you say, God, I don't know what I want what I have, but I don't know what I really want looks like, well, what does it feel like? Because that's really all you're after, is the feeling of it. When I was in my apartment in LA and was, deciding that I was going to take the jump and make the leap and just follow, whatever this was that I was being guided to follow, my plan, you want to know what my plan was? And I've said this before, but I'll repeat it here. I want to be happy. I want to be satisfied. I want to help people. And I want to be self-employed. That was it. That was all I had. But it was enough. It was the emotional feeling architecture of what I wanted my life to feel like is the thing that came first. And the more I focused on happiness, satisfaction, self-employment, and being of service, the more that I let those be my guiding principles for what my life was going to look like, and the longer I maintained that vibration, and the more willingness I had to do the work to unravel whatever it was that stood in the way of happiness, satisfaction, self-employment, and living in service, helping people. Through my willingness to dismantle whatever stood in the way of that, and to only allow things by my choices, by my saying yes to something that aligned with that. Sure, it meant that I had to take a job for a while because that was, necessary. I had to have, I had to pay bills. That made me feel happy. Having security made me feel satisfied. And eventually it unraveled and it got to the point where it's like, okay, well now actually having this job is standing in the way of happiness, satisfaction, self-employment, and service to others. So I let it go and I continued to let it unfold. But those really are the four things that still drive kind of everything that I do. And I've, added a few more in the mix over the past couple of years, and I've allowed it to be sort of edited and modified. That's the other thing, is if you don't like what you chose, choose again. Life is responding to us. Life is bringing us what we think we will get, what we expect we will get, what we believe we can have, what we think we're worthy of, what we think is possible. And if you don't like what you're getting, look at your beliefs. And if you don't like your beliefs, change them. People say all the time, well, you can't change your beliefs. Yes, you can. Abraham Hicks, law of attraction. There's some stuff that I don't necessarily agree with, but law of attraction, Abraham Hicks says all the time, a belief is a thought that you just keep thinking. So change your beliefs. And if you're telling me that you can't change your beliefs, then I will say, then clearly you still believe in the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy. So, what do you want? What do you really want? And are you willing to ask for it? And if it's not what you want, are you willing to ask again? And if it's not what you want, are you willing to clarify and say, I'm sorry, you misunderstood me. This is not what I asked for. What I asked for was a piece of pizza that has the bubbles on it. And when that voice comes into your head and says, you can't have that, you don't deserve that, are you willing to do the work to look at why you have this constant soundtrack in your head that tells you why you can't have something? You got to do the work. Sorry. You got to do the work. You got to live in the void. You got to show up and have faith. You got to be willing to face those parts of yourself and to acknowledge them and to meet them on your inner landscape and to realign yourself with the truth. You have to trust. You have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to let it be. That was the other one, letting it go versus letting it be. I'm not just spouting this shit for fun. I mean, yeah, I like my work and it is fun, but this is the truth. I'm telling you, this is how you get what you want. And the universe is not Santa Claus. It's not going to just magically give you what you want with no effort on your part. You can't be having a shitty, miserable life and just be sitting waiting for the universe to come and save you. It doesn't work that way. The universe is only and ever responding to what we believe we can have, what we expect, what we ask for, what we're willing to accept, what we're willing to say yes to, and what we're willing to do to get us to the place we want to be. I'm going to watch this video and make sure that it makes sense because I know I got really fired up and I was all over the map. But what do you really want? And if it makes sense and you're watching this right now, it's because, I said, yeah, This is in line with the message I wanted to send today. This is acceptable. This is something I want to take responsibility for having created. And I'm willing to do the work. And that means, letting myself go for 3 days with this idea that I just can't quite get out, and it makes me frustrated. But, I just allow it to unfold and show itself to me. And I trust that when it's time, the message will present itself and the inspiration will be there and the words will find me. And I'm willing to let them go and present them to you in the form of this video. So what do you want? You got to be willing to ask for it. You got to be willing to do the work to get it and to allow space for it in your life. And when it shows up, you have to be willing to accept it. Because you get to decide which piece of pizza you're going to eat. The really boring flat one, or the super crunchy, deformed, mutated, bubbly one that's going to taste so much better, because what you want is the feeling, and it is the feeling that you think the things that you want will bring you is what you're really after. So ask yourself what you want, and then ask again, and keep digging until you find the feeling that is behind the thing that you say that you want, and start there. Forget the stuff. The stuff will come as a byproduct of your feeling state. The stuff will come to you in support of what you're emitting, your offering wave. And I guarantee you want to be happy, you want to be healthy, you want to be free, you want to feel thriving, you want to feel vibrant, you want to feel excited, you want to wake up in the morning and open your eyes and go, yes, I cannot wait to do whatever it is that I am going to do today, because it's going to be fucking fun and amazing and I can't wait to do it. So that's it. I need to go calm down. Thank you as always for watching. Go to my website, check me out there, go to my Facebook page, click on the Book Now button and book a damn session with me already. I can help you. And again, as a reminder, my donation model for my services is going to end July 1st. So effective in about a couple of weeks, week and a half, I will be going back to a set rate for all of my services. Thank you as always for watching. I love you. Now go out there and fucking get what you want, and be willing to ask for it, and be willing to say yes to it when it shows up. Because ain't nobody gonna bring it to you on a silver platter until you do the work to align yourself with receiving it. Because there are always waves from the desired life that you want to live, the aspect and the version of the life, the reality that you want to inhabit already exists, and it is seeking you through its vibration. And when you find a vibration that matches it, bam, you come together, sparks light up, and the cord, the attachment, the path, the connection to that version of your life is created, and it continues to call to you, and it says, I'm over here, but you got to do a little bit of work to get to me first. Have a fantastic weekend. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.